This daily Christian newscast is brought to you in partnership with SermonAudio.com.
It's Thursday, July 31st, AD 2025. This is the Worldview in 5 minutes, written by Jonathan Clark and heard on 140 radio stations and at theworldview.com. I'm Adam McManus. Article 18 reports that Iran has arrested 54 Christians since it agreed to a ceasefire with Israel on June 24th. That's more arrests than the previous 6 months. Christians in the Middle Eastern country are also facing increased hate speech since Iran's recent conflict with Israel. Many are seeking to paint Christians as co-conspirators with Israel. Article 18's executive director, Mansour Bourgi, commented, quote, "We are very concerned for the well-being of all Iranian Christians, considering the past misuse of pseudo-legal provisions to justify violence and punitive measures against this vulnerable community," end quote. Hebrews 13:3 says, "Remember the prisoners as if chained with them, those who are mistreated, since you yourselves are in the body also." One of the largest earthquakes ever recorded struck Russia's Far East coast yesterday morning. The 8.8 magnitude quake sent tsunami waves at Russia and Japan. The waves also reached parts of Hawaii and the U.S. West Coast. Millions of people were told to seek high ground. However, authorities downgraded their warnings after the threat of major tsunami waves subsided. Russia experienced some damage but reported no casualties. China launched its first nationwide subsidy for childcare on Monday. The government will offer families 3,600 won per year for each child under the age of 3. That's the equivalent to about $500 per child. The central government is also urging local authorities to introduce free preschool education. China is introducing these measures as it continues to suffer population decline as the result of its previous one-child policy. Meanwhile, in the United States, the fertility rate dropped to a new low in 2024. New data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found that the fertility rate fell to 1.6 children per woman last year. The fertility rate declined for females in age groups 15 to 34, remained unchanged for women ages 35 to 39, and increased for women ages 40 to 44. The U.S. economy grew better than expected during the second quarter of this year. The Commerce Department reported gross domestic product increased at an annual rate of 3% during April, May, and June. That's up from a 0.5% decrease during the first quarter. President Donald Trump posted on Truth Social calling for lower interest rates. He wrote, quote, "Second quarter gross domestic product just out, 3%, way better than expected. Must now lower the rate. No inflation. Let people buy and refinance their homes," end quote. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has proposed to rescind the 2009 endangerment finding. The Obama-era finding has been used for climate regulations like those on motor vehicle emissions. It justified over $1 trillion in regulations, including the Biden administration's electric vehicle mandate. Republican U.S. Congressman Mark Messmer of Indiana said, quote, "The endangerment finding has long been a Democrat tool to issue burdensome regulations that ignore common sense science in pursuit of radical Green New Deal aligned agendas. I applaud the entire Trump administration for making sure we cut the red tape that is unnecessarily impeding American business," end quote. Gallup released their latest poll on Americans' opinions of the moral acceptability of 20 behaviors. The vast majority of U.S. adults still believe that adultery, cloning humans, suicide, and polygamy are morally wrong. Respondents were more divided on abortion. Most Americans believe birth control, divorce, and premarital sex are morally acceptable. These findings are generally similar to last year. However, views of the moral acceptability of abortion and, quote, changing one's gender, end quote, are down compared to last year. Proverbs 29, verse 18 says, "Where there is no prophetic vision, the people cast off restraint, but blessed is he who keeps the law." And finally, U.S. Army chaplains celebrated 250 years of ministry this month. On July 29, 1775, the Continental Congress granted the request of General George Washington to establish an official position for military chaplains. Since then, there have been 25,000 Army chaplains. 3,000 currently serve in the U.S. Army. Listen to comments from Senior Army Chaplain Lieutenant Colonel Ludovic Foyu made at Arlington National Cemetery.
Today marks 250 years of the U.S. Army Chaplain Corps. That is 250 years of ministry alongside the brave, praying with the dying, walking with the wounded, and standing watch with those who bear the burden of defense. 2.5 centuries of ministry in boots, of comfort offered besides cots, of prayers whispered beneath helmets and tents and trenches, deserts and jungles, and now across the world. It is ministry like no other, one forged in the very crucible of conflict, yet rooted in the deepest well of hope, mercy, and calling.
And that's the World View on this Thursday, July 31st in the year of our Lord 2025. Follow us on X or subscribe for free by Spotify, Amazon Music, or by iTunes or email to our unique Christian newscast at theworldview.com. Plus, you can get the Generations app through Google Play or the App Store. I'm Adam McManus. Seize the day for Jesus Christ.